Okay, well, welcome everyone. It is Tuesday. Last week I said Monday. It's Tuesday, March 14th, and we're excited to be here with all of you on our Team Tuesday call. And wherever you're dialing in from everywhere. I hope you're having a good day. My name is Carrie Brummett. I'm one of the marketing directors here on this team, and I'm happy to host today and just bring to you something that we were excited about that we got a little piece of yesterday on a leader call. First, I want to start with if you're joining us on the Love, Serve, Grow challenge, stay tuned to the end of the call because we've got a little fun announcement for you. If you're not, you might want to stay tuned anyway and jump in with us. We've got a little surprise at the end. So, and to remind you, we do 3 things here, and we keep it super simple, right? We eat and share Juice Plus, and we build a customer base, starting with ourselves, right? We become a product of the product. And then next, we share with others, creating raving fans and building a qualified business. And third, we teach others to do the same thing. So that's our simple process. And we can take it one step at a time. So no matter where you are in this compensation plan, whether you've been with us for 19 years like I have, or you just jumped in recently, we all do the same thing. So I love that simplicity about our business. So yesterday we were privileged to be on a call with our leaders. And then we also got the privilege of having a sideline buddy on Zoom with us that did a little training. Her name is Melissa Falco, and you may or may not have heard of her. She's an international marketing director, and she actually blessed us with a really great training. And we were reminded of a training that she did at conference last spring that was just really valuable, and it kind of goes right along with springtime, growing into a new season, B, along with our Love, Serve, Grow. And so we thought we would revive this Melissa Falco training because it's always good to hear from other people. She has so many heartfelt and really good principles and tips in how we share, why we share. So we're not thinking transactionally, we're thinking transformationally. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and play her. So I want you to get a pen and paper. If you don't have a pen and paper, maybe you can take notes on your phone, or you can go back and watch the recording. So if you're watching the recording or you're live on Facebook right now, go ahead and pop in that on the chat. And then also, I would love for you guys, this is a challenge. I'm going to put the challenge at the beginning of the call today. I would love for us all to, after we take notes, to really think about what it is for you that is either a challenge that you're going to work on, you're going to take on, or you are like, hey, this was an aha for me. This is something new, or something that you've already felt like you kind of mastered and you want to share a tip with everyone. Okay. Because contribution in our community, in our team, is so important. You guys hear from us all the time. We want to hear from you. Okay. That's who we really want to hear from. We want to hear from you. Okay. So Emily is going to run the video here. So you're about to be blessed. So make sure you turn your volume up and listen to Melissa because she's amazing.
My screen sharing has been so weird lately. Hang with me, guys.
Okay. I'm just thankful you've got the technology. My computer is about ready to, it's all it can handle is to get on Zoom. So I've got to go invest in a new computer. There's that.
Hi, friends, and welcome to JP Live. My name is Melissa Falco. I am an international marketing director out in Southern California, and I am really excited to come to you today and talk about one of my absolute favorite topics and something that I think is just so incredibly important. We're going to talk about the concept and the topic of growth today, and where you are in your business right now and where you want to grow to, and how do we get there, right? So being that it's springtime, I've entitled this segment, It's Time to Grow. So grab a pen and jot down some notes and let's dream a little bit, because it's time to put pen to paper and action to plan and get ourselves moving and growing again. With gratitude, grit, and grace, we will evolve into the next 50 years of our journey successfully together. This is something I completely believe and I'm witnessing firsthand. And I'm watching people grow in ways that they've never seen before in their businesses. This is a time of evolution, you guys, and it's a time for us to really stand tall, plant in, dig into what we believe in, and go out there and spread this message. This is one of the things that I love so much about Tony Robbins, is that he always comes from this place of gratitude. And we're going to talk a lot about that today because we have so much to be grateful for. He says, when you are grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears. And there have been seasons in my business, I'm not immune to this, we've all been there, where things looked a little scary. These last 2 years were tough. There was a lot of changes. There were a lot of things thrown at us. There were a lot of limitations put on us. And yet we decided as a company to do our job and go out there, and we've grown through it. And I am so proud and honored to be a part of that process. Let's see. One of the things about growth that we need to embrace is first and foremost the timing of what we're offering people. I hope you feel it, but I absolutely look all around and all I see is opportunity these days. People truly want what we have. They're looking for ways to get better cost produce. They're looking for ways to keep their family healthy, to keep their immune system strong, right? They're looking for ways to take control of their own growing season and their food sourcing. We have tools for all of that. And also in the last 2 years, a lot of people have been working from home and realized, you know what? I actually like this. I like spending time at home. I like being more accessible to my family. I like the flexibility of being able to call the shots and run my calendar on my own. This level of gratitude and awareness has to be firmly planted where we sit. Our belief set depends on it. So take the time and jot down some notes and think about what are the things about this season of life, what are the things that present to us as opportunities? What are the things that we can help solve problems in different spaces? Who are the people that are looking for what we have? And really take a moment to think about that, because I think you'll be surprised at how much is out there right now for us to say yes to and to step into. So this is one of the shifts I've made in my own personal business. And this comes down to some great advice that came from Jamie Cantrell at the last JP Live. She taught us how to focus on the benefits of the benefits. She told us, to really take a step back away from what things are and talk about what they do for you, right? People want to know what's in it for me. What can I anticipate to experience? What are some of the things that I'm saying yes to? What am I signing up for? Right? If I say yes to this, if I pay for this, if I join a business, if I do these things, what am I going to get on the other side of that? So when we're talking with people, we really want to focus on the benefits and the experiences of what we provide, right? Versus what's in it or what they are. All those facts, we used to call them the speeds and feeds in technology. Those things are things they can easily look up on the internet. But what you're offering to people when you're speaking with them is your personal experience. What you've seen, what you've witnessed, what you've experienced, introducing them to other people and different stories and, the remarkable outcomes that come from this. We don't want to overpromise. We want to make sure that we're not, solving things and healing things and that kind of stuff, but we can absolutely put a personal testimony to our own experience, and we can encourage them to take a step into what this is, because our research supports it so beautifully. So let's take a look at this. Who do we spend most of our time with? Gabrielle Bernstein says, our vibes attract our tribe. And that is so true. Are you surrounding yourself with people that are learners? Are you spending time with people that are fear-based or faith-based? Are they looking to the positives? Are they negative? How do you talk about your business in front of people? Are you sending out a good vibe about it, or is it just something you do on the side, right? Do you focus on what's happened to you, or do you put your energy into the focus or what hasn't happened yet in your business, or do you put the energy and the focus into your future and invite people into your dream, into your vision of what your business has to offer for you? Do you take positive daily action steps? This is such a big thing, you guys. Are we taking those steps towards the things that we want, or are we sitting around waiting for them to happen? How is your language about yourself, about your business, about your company, about your products? Is it positive? Is it uplifting? Is it affirming? Have you planted the seed of potential in yourself, or are you governed by self-doubt? If you're in a space where you're questioning any of these things, where you're unsure, that's going to relay and transfer over to the people that you're talking to. So it's so important that we get our language right and we surround ourselves with people that have that same belief set, that believe in us and in what we're doing. And if you're not engaging with your team on a regular basis, now's the time to really dive in, you guys. I encourage you to do that. How you treat yourself also, keep in mind, is how others will treat you. This is an important piece in terms of if you treat yourself as someone who hasn't yet accomplished something, that's how people will see you. But if you treat yourself like somebody who shows up and is working towards something, that's a much different energy transfer. Did you feel that? If you want to grow in your business, you first must believe in the potential of growth. And that's what we're going to dive into today. Okay. So Gary Vee is one of the people that I follow and pay attention to. He was one of our guest speakers at, I think it was a couple conferences ago. And one of the things that he talks about most recently, it's a big hot button, is his whole focus on culture. And I love this also. This is inspired by Simon Sinek, but he says, focus on creating a culture of gratitude. And I think those two things combined are just a perfect storm of opportunity for our business, because people are looking to be surrounded with people that are happy and that are justified in what they're doing, that feel confident in where they're going and in what they represent. And we can be all of those things. But again, it comes back to gratitude. It comes back to taking that inventory of what we're doing as a company, what we're offering as products, and who we are as a community, right? So culture truly is everything. And in our team, we represent everything with a heart, because we recognize that every order that's placed truly impacts a heart of somebody that's out there, sometimes two, if it's a family health study. So thinking about head count versus heart count, like how many hearts are we impacting? Do we have just a bunch of people on our roster, or do we have a group of people that are heart-led, love focused and out there to make a big difference? That's the choice you get to make when you're building a team and you're attracting people. So there are numbers involved in what we do, but think about the impact of the people that you're bringing on. Who are the people that are going to go out there and say yes every day, that are going to show up and do the work, and that are going to go out to make a difference? Those are the people we want to be surrounded by. When people feel safe, this is important. This is a Simon Sinek thing. When people feel safe and protected by their leadership, the natural response is to trust and cooperate. So back to this culture piece, when you can build a culture of trust and cooperation and everybody feels like they have a part and that they can count on the people around them, magical things happen. And this is where growth can really expand for you and your team. Are your team members working in isolation, or are they working collaboratively together? Are they supporting one another through things like life changes or business growth, or are they cheering each other on through promotions and taking risks and doing things that are going to move their businesses forward and themselves as well? We want to create a real natural, sticky environment for people, so that when they say yes, they're saying yes to something that's authentic and real and good. Leadership, he says, is a choice, not a rank. And I couldn't agree with this more. Not everybody has to be a leader in this business. And if you are not a leader yet in this business because you just don't really want to take on that responsibility, please know that that's okay. There is something here for everybody. And I love so many people on our team. We have hundreds of people on our team that do this because it makes sense to them, and because there's a family member that they want to make sure is getting the product. And so they say yes simply to the business for that reason. And that's okay, because they're accomplishing something positive and they're having a good experience just in saying yes to that. So leadership is truly a choice. If that's something that you want to step into yourself, if that's something that you choose to grow into and lead a team, then there is more that comes along with this experience. And the more you say yes to in this experience, the more you're going to get out of it, right? But again, we want to make sure that there is a welcoming culture of gratitude and appreciation so that everybody can step into this, whether you're a part-timer or a professional, or if you're just looking to, inspire some others and forward on a website link. So let's look at trees, because trees can teach us a lot. I love this whole concept of our business being like a tree. And I'm going to take you through the next couple of slides, and we're going to talk about the different components and the different parts and how they all come together. But when we sit down and we look at this tree, this business, this experience, what we can see, there's so many parallels. One, first and foremost, you see that the root system of this tree is oftentimes bigger than the tree itself. So you see the roots have to go down and mirror the tree that grows above it, right? So in order to anchor it down, to give it health and life and vitality and an opportunity to grow, the root system is critically important. And I would just like to acknowledge so many of the leaders that have come before us. Our founders are absolutely incredible. And beyond the founders, there are so many other leaders that have just made magical impacts and deposits in all of us over all this time. I've been in this business now for 14 years last month. And I have to say that my greatest teachers have come from this business. I remember listening to Wendy Campbell say, we love you whether you do a little bit or a lot. And I loved that because it really gave me the permission to invite more people into this business. They didn't all have to be like me. They didn't all have to have the same goals as I do. They could just come in and find a spot and a niche that felt right to them. And we could appreciate them without expectation of anything more. Cynthia Gompers is one other great teacher who I learned at a boot camp one time. And she talked about recruiting. And she took out a measuring stick and she said, who are you recruiting? Are you recruiting your 1, 2s, and 3s? Or are you recruiting the 7s, 8s, and 9s? And it really challenged me from a business perspective and from a leadership perspective to sit back and ask myself, am I reaching up? Am I reaching out? Am I stretching myself to invite leaders into my business so that I can expand to the levels that I want to go to, right? There's just so much wisdom that surrounds us. And I really encourage you guys to think back and to thank some of these leaders that have set forth before us to give us this wisdom, these deposits. I call them, deposits of future growth, right? If you can take those little seeds and let them sprout inside of you, then they will carry you in the moments when you didn't even know that you need them. Like one from Catherine Lee, when she says, a setback is just a setup for a comeback, right? It's a future, it's a pullback on the arrow so that we can expand forward in the future. All these little things, they add up, but this is the wisdom of the community that you're a part of. And that's what builds the strength inside of this root system for us to be able to have the potential for growth. So let's look at this tree. What does a tree need to grow to its potential, right? And again, the tree represents our business. So if we're looking at this from a build-out standpoint, first we talked about we need to have the fertile soil. That's really what holds everything in place, right? Are you surrounded by a healthy environment? Is your team culture healthy and inspiring and fun? And do people want to be a part of it, right? The roots, that's your belief system. Again, going back to those deposits, that wisdom, all the things that we can glean from our leaders that have guided us this far. We want to really hold on to those things because those are the things that are going to anchor us and allow for the potential for growth as we move forward. The trunk is you. So that's the responsibility. That's the connection between the potential and the outcome. That falls on you. So is that trunk sturdy? Are you standing tall? Is it giving you the opportunity to reach for the sunlight, right? That all falls on you. And as the root system grows, you will too. Keep that in mind. So your belief set doesn't just start someplace. It's a constant growth process that we need to feed in order for the trunk to have its stability to grow into these next phases of development. The branches represent our team members and our coworkers. Think about every time we branch off, that's another extension of you. It's an opportunity for you to leverage your time and reach more people on the other side. And our leaves are representative, our leaves or our fruit, that's representative of our customers and our business. How healthy is your business? How many leaves do you have out there? A tree barren without leaves, avoid seasons and whatnot, shows that it's not living to its full potential. So we can build all the other stuff around it, but if we don't get out there and talk to people and sign people up and get our customers on board, then we don't have a healthy business either, right? Because the leaves are what grab the sunlight, and the sunlight feeds back to the root system. The sunlight, if you think about the leaves and all the customer stories that we get to collect, and you think about how important that is, that photosynthesis that happens, and it goes all the way through. With each new baby that's born on Juice Plus, I just get a jump in my step, knowing that we've impacted a future generation. When we work with cancer patients and families with picky eaters and, mamas who are struggling with children just in general, and they need more energy to support themselves. There's just so many applications for what we do to help and serve and support others. But those leaves have to go out there and grab that experience and bring it back to you to, again, replenish the belief system, replenish the roots and the health of the tree. So I love this picture because it shows the potential. So maybe you're starting out in your business and you're just at the seedling phase. Maybe you're just in the beginning stages and it's uncomfortable because you've got this seed and it's planted in good soil and it's getting watered and you're doing the things, but it's just trying to break through the ground to get to the other side. There are moments like that in our business, right? But what I can tell you is that this is a business of longevity. And the more you water it consistently and the more you plug into events like this and the more that you lean on and lean into your team members and your uplines and your sidelines for support, and the more that you swim in the pool with everybody, you will have just so much more courage and ability to go farther than you would if you're trying to run this solo on your own. We're all independent business owners. And so ultimately, the health of our business and the potential that comes from it really falls on us. But what we do with our time, who we spend time with, how we influence one another, how we engage with one another, who we expose to our business and to our community, right? Those are the choices that we get to make that sets us up for the potential for something as beautiful as this, right? So I challenge you to dream big. Take your pencil out and write down something. Write down something that stretches you in thought and emotion and maybe even brings a tear to your eye. Write down something that you really would love to reach for, right, in your business experience. Maybe that's paying for a private school or contributing to your family's, vacation fund, or maybe it's about supporting a parent or spouse or loved one, right? Maybe it's about having a fund or some kind of bank account that generates money so that you can go out and do anonymous good in the world, right? Maybe there's just something inside of you, or maybe it's a personal development piece. Maybe it's getting up on a stage and being able to spread your wings. Maybe it's bringing your story to the forefront of social media to inspire so many others. Whatever the thing is, I just encourage you, you see that sunlight shining through, to write it down and take a reach and think of yourself and visualize it happening, because this is all within your reach right now, starting today. Gratitude is a powerful catalyst for happiness. It's the spark that lights the fire of joy in your soul, says Amy Collette. And again, I want to go back to this because there's going to be seasons. There's going to be seasons that come through where storms might try to knock you over, or where maybe there's a drought and you don't water, your business the way you need to. You haven't touched it in a little while and it's starting to dry up. There's going to be seasons like this, but it all starts with gratitude. And if you can go back to that place, that's where you start. So don't be afraid to make that list again of all the things that matter, right? All the things that you've experienced, all the relationships that have come. Some may go, and that's okay too. Just like the leaves, some may grow and some may go, and there's going to be seasons for that too. But I encourage you guys to stay in this place of like healthy, fertile soil, because it's in those moments, it's in that place that you have the true potential to see your potential. So one of the greatest things about what we do is that we get to grow this business as big as we want. Some people are not looking for the NMD ship. They're looking for a way to save some money on their product, a way to get a better discount, a way to share it with a couple of friends and family. And for those people, we want to help them achieve that as quickly as possible and celebrate them when they do, right? We want to thank them for being here because that's going to make up about 85% of the small little branches on your tree ultimately, right? But we also want to honor and acknowledge the fact that with time and effort and constant touching of your business, watering it as it goes, allowing it to grow and plugging into all the right things, taking those positive action steps, we do have the ability to grow this as big as we want to. And that can be measured, in lots of different ways. I like to measure it based on impact. What is my biggest impact? Am I making the impact that I set out to do? I really, truly want to touch 1 million lives through this business opportunity. Getting out there, talking to more people, getting more people on Juice Plus, impacting future generations, helping people rise in their own self-confidence and stepping up into their own potential is just something that's so big on my heart. So if you're like me and you have that helper's high, just know that these two things are connected and they cannot be severed. Your paycheck is a direct reflection of the amount of people that you help and impact. So I challenge you, if you're in that space of, wanting to make a bigger impact, start with your paycheck because it will drive you to that place through sheer numbers, through sheer outreach. And the team is going to help you get there. Okay. So from an acorn, a mighty oak grows. Let's go back to the beginning here for a second. Let's really think about this. Think of how many acorns fall from a tree. So many seeds, right? And from those seeds, some fall on fertile ground and have the ability to then start and grow a tree of their own, but not all do. And that's much like our business. We're going to have seasons where we're planting, it feels like we're planting lots and lots of seeds, and that's okay. Sometimes they just need time to mature. Sometimes they're just not in the right place, or it's just not the right time. But for the ones that are, it's your job and your responsibility to make sure that that fertile ground is ready for them so that they can have the potential to step into it, to grow just like you did, to get exposed to all the right things, the right people, the right events, to get the nourishment and all the things that you did just like you did, so they can follow in your footsteps. So don't be afraid to start with the seeds. And in times of dips, as Katie Jones says, that's the time to be planting as many seeds as you can. So our future is so bright. I have never been more confident about where we're headed than I am right now, truthfully. And I have to say, this is a season and a time for us to get flexible because we're in a space of evolution. And when you're in a place of evolution, you're going to grow, but you're going to expand. And sometimes it's a little awkward. And sometimes we need to adjust and pivot and try new things. And so flexibility is going to be the #1 survival tool for a season like this. It says, Marianne Williams says, you must learn a new way to think before you can master a new way to be. And if you're looking for growth in your business, then you have to look at your business as a former version of what it was, and you're stepping into a future potential of what it can be. So there's an opportunity there to shed an old skin and step into a new one, right? And I want you all to be thinking about what are some of the things that didn't serve me in the past, maybe some mindsets, some behaviors, some procrastination tricks or tools, right? If you're like me, I'm like, oh gosh, I got to get to that customer care, whatever the thing is, what can we leave behind? What can we step into? What can we adopt that's new? And where are we headed, right? Let's get really clear about where we're going, because without a destination, we just find ourselves wandering. So the famous question from Lauren Lahav, what if, right? What if we said yes to medical insurance? What if you gave your family that gift of an option? What if we said yes to part-time income? What if we said yes to friendships, more friendships, expand ourselves, get out there, meet new people? What if we said yes to fun, right? What about personal growth? How about we say yes to making a difference? What if we say yes to more joy in our business? What about health education? Maybe there's some things we need to learn. Maybe we're searching for a purpose. Maybe we need to say yes to a purpose. What if we say yes to community? What if we step in and really give it a go, right? What if we say yes to a vacation fund or a professional experience? What if somebody's not quite ready yet, right? What if they just need some time to think about it? What if we give them the grace to do that? What if we say yes to the mission? Or what if we just say yes to something of our own? All of these questions are questions for us, but they're also questions to ask others. We get to ask them and invite them into all of these things. This experience is not a linear experience. This is a multi-dimensional experience, you guys. There is so much that we have to offer people, and sometimes it's just being around us. Sometimes it's just saying yes to that community piece to feel fulfilled, to have positive people in their life. There's a lot of people searching for community at this moment in time, and we have one of the best communities out there. And why not invite them and just say, you know what? Leave your checkbook at home. Come check us out. Just hang out with us for a little bit, right? Come get some education. I think you might find something from that. Or, come and ask some questions, challenge me. Let's have some fun with this. I'm not afraid to take tough questions. I'd rather you ask me than Google. What if we just invite people into even a discount or an incentive, something to say yes to get them into motion, into movement. Whenever you're unsure of what to say, because I get that a lot from people, especially when they're new, go back to this. Just ask, well, what if it worked? How might that land with your family? How might that change things? What if the business worked? What if it did? What if it worked? What if you had fun? What if you liked it? What if you built new friendships? What if you got some personal growth? What if you had an opportunity to make a difference? Right? You see how this all comes around? But going back to that classic question is really a great place to be, because people, when you ask that question, it creates a space in their brain that they have to fill. And then your job is to sit back and be quiet and to listen, right? See where that might take you. So Zig Ziglar says, true joy comes from when you inspire, encourage, and guide someone else on a path that benefits him or her. And I couldn't agree more. And I don't think there's anything more relevant than what we do. Our job is not to be anybody's boss. If you've noticed, we don't have any bosses around here, but we have lots of guides, and we get to be a guide also. So don't be afraid to ask for the help that you need. There are people lined up in front of you ready to support you. And don't be afraid to guide people to the things that might benefit them, because that's your job too, right? Our job isn't to tell people what to do, it's to invite them into something. And so asking lots of questions, getting connected, finding gratitude, showing up with a really positive energy about what we said yes to is going to make it a very attractive opportunity for someone else to say yes to, because they're looking for that, right? We have to believe in that. So I'm going to wrap this up here, but I want you to think about the tree. I want you to think about your future. I want you to think about, where are you planted right now? Do you need to take some time and really get that soil to where it needs to be? Is your root system strong and expanding? Remember, if you want to, you need to grow down in your belief system first, right? Those two things go together. How is your trunk? Are you standing tall, or are you stretching to find the light, right? Take a check on yourself. Figure out, am I in the right place? Am I focused on what I'm doing? Am I strong in my belief set? And do I have the help and the support above me to expand and grow into the places that I want to get to, right? It all comes together in the end, and all of the pieces are important. And whether you're on a customer track to just go out and make a really big difference with a bunch of customers, think of those as your plethora of leads. That's a great place to be. If you're looking for that long-term gain in the leadership track that we have to offer, you want to be expanding into team and empowering other leads and branches to grow and sprout, right? But it all starts with you. And I just encourage you, when you say yes to this, maybe it wasn't a sure yes. Maybe it was a sure, I'll see what happens, right? That's what I did. I wasn't sure. I said yes to this business because I wanted my dad to take the product. So I signed up. I got my discount. I sent in my link. I, got him on the product. I started also. And then I went to a conference because I wanted to make sure what I said yes to was a good thing. And I'm so glad I did. And so much like you are right now, you're plugging into information that's going to feed and support that root system. I just encourage you, take the time, go through the material, watch it again if you have to. take notes, reflect back on that, and then share what you're learning with others, because it's inspiring and there's so much to offer. And people, again, they're looking for what we have. We just have to get it out there for them to see, right? So the stronger the roots, the taller the tree, the more glorious the tree can shine. And that's really, who doesn't love the beauty of a tree? We're all looking for something as sturdy and awesome as that. I hope this was helpful. I hope that you found something that you can apply to your daily business and your daily life. I want to thank you for being a part of the Juice Plus experience, because it's all of us combined together that make the difference. And I want to encourage you to go out and invite somebody, share with them, ask them, what if?
Hey, okay, guys. Oh my gosh. Well, I know some of you, it's 12:39, so sorry we ran late. One more announcement. I know some of you were having a hard time hearing there at the end. If you didn't catch the end of it, try to go on the Facebook group and watch it there. Maybe the volume was a little better there. So sorry about that. She did get a little low. I put my headset in and I could hear her fine at the end. So, okay, last thing I want to share with you. Love, Serve, Grow Habit Tracker is our challenge. We are on week 5 for those of you that are participating. And this was going to be the end of our track. Now, if you want it to end here, because that's how it's going to best serve you, that's fine. You can turn in your tracker results at the end of week 5. But we decided we would extend it for 2 more weeks through the end of the month, because we feel that it is one of the best tools that we can give you in creating those habits. Just like Melissa was talking about, it's all about sharing. It's all about impact. It's all about transforming people's experience in their lives and what they are looking for. And we know that this is one of the simple habits or simple ways you can create habits through this tracker. So again, we were supposed to end on the 19th. We will go for 2 more weeks. So if you haven't jumped in on this and you want to, you can for those 2 weeks. Okay. You could pay us $5 and go for 2 weeks. The very worst case scenario is you would lose your $5. The very best case scenario is that you would double your money. Okay. But really the most important part of why you would jump in and what would happen is you would start creating habits that would help serve you and your customers and your team and to help you to grow. Okay. So it's really the $5 is just having a little skin in the game for you. We're not going to make any money off of this. We're giving all the money back and more, and then some. And so for those of you that are tracking for the 5 weeks, you'll have a bonus 2 weeks and we'll give out some bonus money for that. Okay. All right, guys, thanks for hanging with us. Again, if you're in the Facebook group or if you're on Zoom, we want you to go ahead and drop in your nuggets there, how you were challenged, how you're going to move forward after hearing Melissa's amazing training today. So thank you so much. We kind of switched it up. Next week, we're going to hear from some people that are moving and grooving and growing as they're loving and serving on people out there through this challenge.